TEAS 7 English Last Minute Review. Question 1. Consider the language may used in the email from the simulation lab. Which sentence avoids a double negative? Option A, May did not find no errors in the presentation. Option B, May never found none in the presentation. Option C, May did not find any errors in the presentation. Option D, May could not hardly find no errors in the presentation. The correct answer is option C. May did not find any errors in the presentation. The sentence should not combine not or never with another negative word referring to the same idea. Replace the second negative with a neutral form such as any or ever. Standard edited English normally uses one negative element to express a negative meaning. During May's review of the email, applying this check at the simulation lab will help eliminate tempting distractors. Question 2. Consider the language Noah used in the email from the simulation lab. Which revision is clearest and most concise? Option A. The results were unexpected and came as a surprise. Option B. It is a fact that the results were unexpected and came as a surprise. Option C. The results were unexpected. Option D. The results were unexpected and came as a surprise, which is a point that should be noted. The correct answer is option C. The results were unexpected. The longer alternatives restate an idea already contained in another word or phrase. Preserve the full message while cutting words that add no new content. Concise writing removes repeated meaning and empty phrases without deleting necessary information. For the email from the simulation lab, Noah should verify this feature and then compare the remaining choices. Question 3. Consider the language Sophia used in the email from the simulation lab. Based on context, which meaning best fits objective in the report remained objective by presenting measured results without personal opinions. Option A, based on facts rather than feelings. Option B, clearly stated. Option C, possible and practical. Option D, explain the meaning. The correct answer is option A, based on facts rather than feelings. The surrounding details narrow the possible sense of the target word. Test each proposed meaning in the entire sentence rather than considering the word alone. Context clues may appear as definitions, examples, contrasts, causes, or consequences. Using this method on the email allows Sophia to make a rule-based decision at the simulation lab.
Stressed about your GED? We can take GED for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done.
Question 4. While editing the email at the simulation lab, Caleb reviews this item. Inconsistency matters in formal writing. How is consistency functioning? Option A, pronoun. Option B, a noun. Option C, a verb. Option D, adjective. The correct answer is option B, noun. A word's category depends on the job it performs in a specific sentence. The surrounding structure shows whether the target names, replaces, describes, connects, locates, or expresses an action. Analyze function in context rather than relying only on the word's usual appearance. As Caleb reviews the email at the simulation lab, this check provides a reliable final confirmation. Question 5. While editing the email at the simulation lab, Nia reviews this item. Which sentence uses hyphens dashes correctly? Option A. The final task, revising the email, took 10 minutes. Option B. The final task, revising the email, took 10 minutes. Option C. The final task minus revising the email took 10 minutes. Option D. The final task, revising the email, took 10 minutes. The correct answer is option D. The final task, revising the email, took 10 minutes. Punctuation marks signal grammatical boundaries and relationships. A pair of dashes sets off an interrupting explanatory element. Identify the structure first, then choose the mark that performs that exact function. Applying the rule to the complete email helps Nia avoid relying on how an option merely sounds at the simulation lab. Question 6. Consider the language Owen used in the email from the simulation lab. Which revision creates effective sentence variety without sacrificing clarity? Option A, Marcus prepared the assignment. Naomi discussed the brochure. The group discussed the results. Option B, Marcus prepared the assignment. Naomi discussed the brochure. Discussing the results. Option C, Marcus prepared the assignment and Naomi discussed the brochure and the group discussed the results and everyone finished. Option D, Marcus prepared the assignment. Afterward, Naomi discussed the brochure and the group discussed the results. The correct answer is option D. Marcus prepared the assignment. Afterward, Naomi discussed the brochure and the group discussed the results. The alternatives are either choppy, fragmentary, or overloaded with loosely joined clauses. Use subordination, coordination, and transitions selectively to create a controlled rhythm. Sentence variety mixes lengths and structures while preserving complete, readable thoughts. During Owen's review of the email, applying this check at the simulation lab will help eliminate tempting distractors. Question 7. Consider the language Layla used in the email from the simulation lab. Which meaning of issue fits the committee discussed the issue? Option A, distribute officially. Option B, a published edition. Option C, a topic or problem. Option D, the child or descendant. The correct answer is option C, a topic or problem. The sentence selects one sense from several accepted uses of the same spelling. Substitute each definition and keep the one that makes the full sentence logical. A multiple minus meaning word must be interpreted through its grammatical role and surrounding details. For the email from the simulation lab, Layla should verify this feature and then compare the remaining choices. Question 8. While editing the email at the simulation lab, Marcus reviews this item. In because the room was full, the group moved outside. How was because functioning? Option A, noun. Option B, pronoun. Option C, a verb. Option D, conjunction. The correct answer is option D, conjunction. A word's category depends on the job it performs in a specific sentence. The surrounding structure shows whether the target names, replaces, describes, connects, locates, or expresses an action. Analyze function in context rather than relying only on the word's usual appearance. Using this method on the email allows Marcus to make a rule-based decision at the simulation lab.
Are you looking for Get actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access GED study guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get GED answer key today.
Question 9. Consider the language Elena used in the email from the simulation lab. Which sentence uses colons correctly? Option A, while Lena emphasized one principle, clarity matters. Option B, while Lena emphasized one principle, clarity matters. Option C, while Lena emphasized one principle, clarity matters. Option D, while Lena emphasized one principle, clarity matters. The correct answer is option B. Elena emphasized one principle, clarity matters. A complete clause introduces an explanation of the stated principle. Identify the structure first, then choose the mark that performs that exact function. Punctuation marks signal grammatical boundaries and relationships. As Elena reviews the email at the simulation lab, this check provides a reliable final confirmation. Question 10. Consider the language Ibrahim used in the email from the simulation lab. Which detail most directly supports the claim? Careful attention to directions prevents avoidable mistakes. Option A. A question may ask for an error, a revision, or the best meaning, and each task requires a different response. Option B. The bookstore sells notebooks in 4 colors. Option C. An admissions email requires more formal and courteous wording than a text message to a friend. Option D. Replacing vague expressions such as did something with analyzed or revised identifies the actual action. The correct answer is option A. A question may ask for an error, a revision, or the best meaning, and each task requires a different response. The supporting sentence must explain or illustrate the stated claim rather than merely present another true fact. Track the controlling idea and the reference made by each sentence. Paragraph structure depends on unity, logical order, and clear relationships among sentences. Applying the rule to the complete email helps Ibrahim avoid relying on how an option merely sounds at the simulation lab. Question 11. Grace is preparing the final email for review at the simulation lab. In hematology, what does hemat refer to? Option A, body temperature. Option B, digestive enzyme. Option C, blood. Option D, skin surface. The correct answer is option C, blood. Medical vocabulary is often built from elements naming structures, conditions, directions, or processes. Separate the root from any prefix or suffix before interpreting the term. The target element supplies the central anatomical or physiological reference. During Grace's review of the email, applying this check at the simulation lab will help eliminate tempting distractors. Question 12. Consider the language Mateo used in the email from the simulation lab. How should Marcus prepared the assignment be classified? Option A, independent clause. Option B, dependent clause. Option C, prepositional phrase. Option D, infinitive phrase. The correct answer is option A, independent clause. This word group must also be checked to see whether it expresses a complete thought or depends on another clause. Identify the subject and verb first, then test whether the group can stand alone. Clauses contain a subject-verb relationship, while phrases do not express that complete relationship. For the email from the simulation lab, Matteo should verify this feature and then compare the remaining choices. Question 13. Consider the language Zara used in the email from the simulation lab. Which sentence uses hyphens-dashes correctly? Option A. The workshop lasted 25 minutes. Option B. The workshop lasted 25 minutes. Option C. The workshop lasted 25 minutes. Option D. The workshop lasted 20-5 minutes. The correct answer is option D. The workshop lasted 20-5 minutes. A compound number between 20-1 and 90-9 is hyphenated. Identify the structure first, then choose the mark that performs that exact function. Punctuation marks signal grammatical boundaries and relationships. Using this method on the email allows Zara to make a rule-based decision at the simulation lab. Question 14. While editing the email at the simulation lab, Ethan reviews this item. Which sentence should be removed from a paragraph focused on keeping an error log? Option A. An error log helps students identify patterns in their mistakes. Option B. The auditorium has new stage lights. Option C. Recording the rule behind each missed item shows whether agreement, punctuation, or vocabulary needs more practice. Option D. Reviewing patterns turns mistakes into a focused study plan. The correct answer is option B. The auditorium has new stage lights. Paragraph structure depends on unity, logical order, and clear relationships among sentences. One sentence does not develop the paragraph's controlling idea. Track the controlling idea and the reference made by each sentence. As Ethan reviews the email at the simulation lab, this check provides a reliable final confirmation. Question 15. While editing the email at the simulation lab, Naomi reviews this item. Which thesaurus replacement best preserves the meaning of substantiate in formal writing? Option A. Casual. Option B. Unrelated. Option C. Support. Option D. Excessive. The correct answer is option C. Support. Thesaurus entries are related, but not every listed word is interchangeable in every context. The replacement must preserve sense, tone, and grammatical function. Insert each candidate into the original sentence before choosing it. Applying the rule to the complete email helps Naomi avoid relying on how an option merely sounds at the simulation lab. Question 16. While editing the email at the simulation lab, Jonah reviews this item. Which option is a fragment that cannot stand alone? Option A. Grace outlined the checklist. Option B. After the survey. Option C. Because Grace outlined the checklist. Option D. Andre reviewed the handout. The correct answer is option B. After the survey. A complete sentence needs a subject, a predicate, and a complete thought. The selected group is punctuated as a sentence but lacks a complete independent thought. Test each option by reading it independently and asking whether it leaves the reader waiting for more information. During Jonah's review of the email, applying this check at the simulation lab will help eliminate tempting distractors. Question 17. While editing the email at the simulation lab, Maya reviews this item. Which spelling is standard for the word needed in the email? Option A. Calendar. Option B. Calendar. Option C. Calendar. Option D. Calendar. The correct answer is option A. Calendar. Spelling must often be recognized independently of pronunciation. The alternatives contain common errors involving vowel order, omitted letters, or doubled consonants. Check common suffixes, vowel sequences, and consonant doubling carefully. For the email from the simulation lab, Maya should verify this feature and then compare the remaining choices. Question 18. While editing the email at the simulation lab, Andre reviews this item. Which strategy would best help Andre find surface errors in the final email? Option A. Read only the first sentence of each paragraph. Option B. Read slowly in separate passes, focusing on one error type at a time. Option C. Add new supporting ideas during the final check. Option D. Depend entirely on software without rereading. The correct answer is option B. Read slowly in separate passes, focusing on one error type at a time. Revision addresses larger communication problems before final proofreading. The document is already complete, so attention should narrow to small mechanical errors. Resolve structural and meaning-level concerns before spending time on minor mechanics. Using this method on the email allows Andre to make a rule-based decision at the simulation lab.
Stressed about your NA CCMA? We can take na CCMA for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done.
Question 19. During a study session at the simulation lab, Lena reviews the email and encounters this language question. Which version demonstrates correct subject-verb agreement? Option A. Both the schedule and the checklist needs final approval. Option B. Both the schedule and the checklist clearly needs final approval. Option C. Both the schedule and the checklist need final approval. Option D. Both the schedule and the checklist need final approval. The correct answer is option C. Both the schedule and the checklist need final approval. The grammatical number of both the schedule and the checklist controls the verb in this sentence. A verb agrees with the head of its subject, not with a nearby noun inside a phrase. Identify the complete subject before evaluating the verb form. As Lena reviews the email at the simulation lab, this check provides a reliable final confirmation. Question 20. During a study session at the simulation lab, Samuel reviews the email and encounters this language question. Which version uses parallel structure? Option A. The course requires studying vocabulary, to comparing, and emails. Option B. The course requires studying vocabulary, comparing examples, and editing emails. Option C. The course requires to studying, comparing examples, and to editing. Option D. The course requires vocabulary, comparing examples, and editing. The correct answer is option B. The course requires studying vocabulary, comparing examples, and editing emails. The list in this sentence must keep all three activities in the same construction. Items with equal grammatical importance should use matching forms. Compare the form of each coordinated item rather than only its meaning. Applying the rule to the complete email helps Samuel avoid relying on how an option merely sounds at the simulation lab. Question 21. While editing the email at the simulation lab, Hannah reviews this item. Which sentence uses a contraction or abbreviation correctly? Option A. They're preparing for the test. Option B. They're preparing for the test. Option C. They're preparing for the test. Option D. They're preparing for the test. The correct answer is option D. They're preparing for the test. Contractions and abbreviations follow established spelling and punctuation patterns. The contraction expands to two words that fit the sentence. Expand a contraction mentally or verify the conventional shortened form. During Hannah's review of the email, applying this check at the simulation lab will help eliminate tempting distractors. Question 22. During a study session at the simulation lab, Victor reviews the email and encounters this language question. Which sentence maintains a consistent point of view? Option A. You should review their answers before you submit the test. Option B. You should review your answers before we submit the test. Option C. You should review our answers before they submit the test. Option D. You should review your answers before you submit the test. The correct answer is option D. You should review your answers before you submit the test. The subject and later pronouns must refer to the same perspective throughout the sentence. Point of view should not shift unnecessarily among first, second, and third person. Trace each pronoun back to the original subject. For the email from the simulation lab, Victor should verify this feature and then compare the remaining choices. Question 23. Consider the language Rosa used in the email from the simulation lab. Which verb phrase correctly completes every evening? Jordan blank vocabulary cards. Option A, or reviews. Option B, reviewed tomorrow. Option C, is review. Option D, had reviewing. The correct answer is option A, reviews. Here, simple present expresses a repeated habit. Map each action on a simple timeline before selecting the verb phrase. Verb tense should reflect both time markers and the order of events. Using this method on the email allows Rosa to make a rule-based decision at the simulation lab. Question 24. While editing the email at the simulation lab, Malik reviews this item. Which sentence uses the comparative or superlative form correctly? Option A. This email is easier than the earlier version. Option B. This email is easiest than the earlier version. Option C. This email is more easier than the earlier version. Option D. This email is easy than the earlier version. The correct answer is option A. This email is easier than the earlier version. Comparative and superlative forms depend on how many items are being compared. The sentence compares two items and therefore requires the middle degree. Watch for irregular forms and avoid double markers such as more better. As Malik reviews the email at the simulation lab, this check provides a reliable final confirmation. Question 25. While editing the email at the simulation lab, Clara reviews this item. Which purpose best describes this text? A notice warns students about a temporary building closure. Option A, to inform. Option B, to alert. Option C, to persuade. Option D, to entertain. The correct answer is option B, to alert. Purpose is revealed by what the text is designed to accomplish for its reader. The description emphasizes a particular action such as explaining, arguing, warning, directing, or narrating. Focus on the writer's intended effect rather than only the subject matter. Applying the rule to the complete email helps Clara avoid relying on how an option merely sounds at the simulation lab.